What's this?
No mess with that.
It's like the mumbai. It's I don't know, what is that?
Oh man, my battery is about to die. So I'm gonna have to charge. I'm gonna have to charge this for a little bit and then come back and record. Alright guys, so this is part 2 of my how to set up your sewing business video. Pretty much different ways that what I talked about in part 1 was pretty much giving you like a foundation of knowledge and certain things that you might need to know before you decide how you want to set up your sewing business. And in this video I'm going to be talking about just different ways, all of this is just from my perspective, but in this video I'm just going to talk about different ways that you can set up your sewing business. And if you haven't watched the first video, I suggest you go and watch part 1 first before you get into this video, because part 1 has a lot of foundational information that you will need to kind of understand, so you can get a better understanding of how you should decide to set up your actual sewing business. Yeah, so let's go ahead and get right into it. Hope you guys enjoy the video. This is more so for people who don't really care to sew their own product or whatever, but they want to maybe start a online fashion boutique. And with wholesaling, it's pretty much 2 different ways. As far as when it comes to wholesale, I kind of have it to where there's 2 different ways. You can either be the one buying the wholesale products, or you can be the one selling the wholesale products. So as a designer and someone who maybe likes to design or whatever, or if you even like to sew, if you have the time to create bulk orders of certain things or whatever, then you can sell your products wholesale to other boutiques, to other online boutiques, or to other physical boutiques or whatever. So that's one way. And then of course the other way is for pretty much like a lot of Instagram boutiques and a lot of other boutiques, they just pretty much buy wholesale and start a boutique that way or whatever. So you can actually set, if you want to do the wholesale route to where you're selling your products wholesale, you can set up an online boutique to where you specify that this stuff is for wholesale only. And what you can do is do your research when it comes to that. When it comes to if you want to design certain things and you want to, because like I said in this video, I want to more so focus on actual sewers, people who are actual sewers and actual designers who actually have a passion and an interest in being creative and sharing their creativity and sharing their pretty much sharing their art with the world. But there are so many different ways you can do it. So yes, even though I'm giving other options such as people who don't really sew, people who don't design, and they just pretty much have the wholesale type of boutiques, let me close this door. Like I said, there's other options where you don't have to be a sewer, but I'm pretty sure that people who are watching this video are more than likely people who actually sew and people who actually like to create and design certain things. So that's why, as far as the wholesale option is more so you creating a product and creating pieces to where you can produce them in large quantities and sell them to other boutiques. It don't even necessarily have to be large quantities, because depending on the boutique that you want to sell your fashions to, depending on if it's like a small little like an intimate type of boutique that sells maybe like 3 or 4 pieces in that one design or something, like you can go to small boutiques like that, because there's plenty of them or whatever. So you just have to do your research when it comes to that. Or of course you can go the bigger route and try to get your clothing in like bigger stores or whatever, but of course you will have to produce more, and there'll be a higher demand for your clothing or whatever. So that's one option that you can set up your shop. You can set it up to where you're wholesaling and you're pretty much selling to businesses versus selling to actual individual people. Another way is pretty much having your own boutique, having your own online business, and selling your own pieces in your store to where it's like stocked and it has inventory. Um, like you would like a regular store, like pretty much like an H&M or something like that, like where you have large quantities of a particular item, and you kind of keep things in stock, and you're restocking and doing all that kind of stuff. So it's more so like um it's like a less exclusive type of thing, to where it's it's pretty much you selling your pieces in larger quantities. You're selling your pieces in large quantities, so you try to keep up with the inventory. Like if you decide that you want five, if you design 5 pieces, right, starting off, you have like 5 pieces, but throughout the whole entire season, or even throughout a whole entire year or something, you just keep those 5 pieces as your pieces for that whole year or for that certain time frame. You just keep reproducing those 5 pieces over and over and over and over and over again. That's one way you can kind of like set up your shop, or set up your way of kind of like creating or running your sewing business, is by pretty much maybe designing by season or something, kind of like how you see a lot of people in the fashion industry do. They design by season, and then they have a certain number of pieces that they design for that particular season or for that particular time frame, and they just keep reproducing those pieces over and over and over again. I call it kind of like the first come, first serve. And it's pretty much like, this is the way that you kind of put your creativity to the test. And this is kind of like the way where you're constantly wanting to just create something new. You're constantly wanting your boutique to have something new in it at all times, and you want it to be a little more exclusive. So every time you produce or design a piece of clothing, it's always a limited quantity. Like you literally limit your quantity down to like first come, first serve. Like as soon as it's sold out, it's sold out, unless you choose to put it back for sale in the store or whatever. But you're pretty much just always creating. You're always creating something new. You have so many different things. And like I said, unlike the other way, as far as like the inventory style, where you're staying stocked with the same thing, you're staying stocked with things, but it's like you're constantly creating or whatever. So it's like that one, like I said, that option kind of puts your creativity to the test a little bit more than someone who just developed 5 pieces for a long period of time and just recreating those same pieces. So as you can see, that way will be probably a little bit easier, but it will get boring. Like if you're someone who loves to create, like, you know what I mean, like doing that will probably get boring after a while or whatever, and you will probably want to do something different or do something, new or whatever. So doing like the first come first serve or whatever, you kind of make the boutique more exclusive, to where people who are buying from your boutique, they know that this is something that someone else is not going to be wearing. They're not going to go out and to an event or something and see somebody wearing their same dress, or you know what I mean. Like it's like they know that when they walk out, they're going to be walking out in style, in individual style, and it's not going to be something that you see people everywhere wearing it all the time. Like you see a lot of boutiques right now, a lot of online boutiques right now, where you see a lot of people wearing the same things. Like everybody's kind of shopping at the same boutiques. So everybody is, because like the trending boutiques where everybody's shopping at the same boutique, so everybody's kind of wearing the same thing. There's no individual style anymore. Like, so it's like your boutique will kind of be known as that clientele who may love to have that individual style, that loyal those are more than likely those loyal customers who will come to you and come to your business, because they know when they come to that website, they're going to see something new, something different, and they're going to be excited about it. It's like an adventure. It's like, daring to be different. You control the inventory at the end of the day. So for instance, like If you have an idea to design something new, you get an idea, oh, let me design this dress, and then you may create it. You find some, you go fabric shopping or whatever, you're inspired by a fabric and you create something from that fabric or whatever, and you know, you can sell 2 pieces of that item, and you know what I mean, and you're kind of satisfied with that, and then you're moving on to the next design. And the great thing about, I feel like, about this method is the cost. The cost is more controlled, I feel, because one, you're not necessarily having to buy fabric in bulk at risk of not selling all of your pieces. So for instance, the inventory style of you, pretty much the inventory style or whatever, is more so like you are pretty much having to buy your fabric in bulk, making sure that you're having enough fabric in stock to continuously being able to reproduce or keep that item in stock. So you're having to buy fabric in bulk, and then, you know, if that fabric is, you can't find the fabric, then guess what? You're not going to be able to reproduce that item or resell it or whatever, because you're now out of the fabric. So that's the thing with the inventory one. With the inventory one, you're having to buy a lot of fabric in stock in hopes that you will sell all the pieces that you need to sell to use that fabric and get your profit off of the expenses that you spent on it. And with the first come first serve, you pretty much like buy the amount of fabric that you need for however many pieces that you want, which with it being limited number of pieces, it won't be as much of a cost for the fabric. Even though a lot of companies do sell discounted fabric when you purchase them in bulk or whatever, but there's also a lot of, like, you can literally go to the fabric store and go fabric shopping and go to clearance fabrics sections online and in the stores and find some great quality fabric for super duper cheap, and get you a couple of yards of that and make you a couple of pieces from that fabric and sell that and make like probably quadruple the profit. Like, you know what I mean? Because it will cost just as much as it would if you were to buy fabric in bulk. But the thing is, when you buy fabric in bulk, you have to buy a certain amount of fabric or whatever. So when you're doing it like the first come first serve, it's kind of like limited quantities and it's more exclusive and stuff like that. You're limiting the number of items that you produce for that fabric, and you're constantly creating. You're constantly making something new. It's like I said, it puts your creativity to the test. And if you're someone who is going into this because you love to create and you really want to share your art with the world, you really have a passion for it, then that would be a great option for you. And that's pretty much the direction that I'm now going, because when I launched my first one, I went into it in the direction of inventory style, because I felt like I didn't really do my research, and I didn't really know what I was doing. So I was just doing what I saw other boutiques doing. And that's the thing. It's just so many ways that you can do things that you don't have to be trying to do what everyone else is doing. You really can like customize every aspect of your sewing business to what you want and how you want to do things. With the made to order and the custom way of running your sewing business, is pretty much like people contact you and tell you they want this and you make it. Or some people contact you and tell you, like the event, they tell you kind of like an idea of their style and what they want, and you from there design them a piece exclusively by you, and you pick the fabric. You kind of go along the process with them in order to create the garment that they want. So this particular way of doing your sewing business is more so catered to the customer, to where you're literally hands-on individually having to cater to each individual customer based off of their each individual needs, and versus pretty much you creating what you want to create and people wanting to buy your creation or whatever. So it's more so the client kind of controls your creativity in my opinion. Some clients kind of give designers free range or free, you know what I mean, do what you do or whatever, or you know, and they might make a few changes here or there or whatever. But most of the time, it's like the client is in control of what you create. Now, some people, what they do is they design a gown or something, or they design something and they make a sample of it, and then they create a custom boutique to where people can get that design custom made to fit their body, but it's still the same design or whatever. So it's like if you go wedding gown shopping or whatever, like when you go to a bridal gown store, you have many different bridal gown options, but what they do is they will take that bridal gown that you like and then they will customize it to fit your body exactly or whatever. So that's one way as far as custom orders are concerned, to where you don't necessarily have to like keep designing something individually for each client, but you can make a design, create a sample of that design, create a website of samples, right? Create a website of samples and have a form filled, you know, for clients to fill out or for clients to contact you to pretty much give you their sizing and all that kind of stuff, and their the deadline for when they want it done, and all that good stuff. So, and even if you want to still be able to let them customize it just a little bit to fit their personality, you can give them like charge them extra for changing the design. So that with this custom way, you're pretty much you have a little bit more control of the pricing, I would say, because it's like, okay, I'm having to price, you know, the fabric based off of the design and how much fabric that I'm going to need based off the size of the customer or the size of the client, and I'm going to have to incorporate all of that. I'm going to have to incorporate, you know, the cost of if I need to redesign it or change the design a little bit, if I give that option to my clients to change the design to kind of fit their personality, if they want to take something away. Or because most of the time, I'm going to say this, most of the time when it comes to custom orders, a lot of clients kind of do they kind of have that, they're kind of walking into a custom order like, well, I have some room to make changes. So most of the time when it comes to custom orders, a lot of clients are looking to probably make have the option of making changes. So that's just yeah, that's just this is all my perspective. This is all just from things that I've observed, because I even did the custom order route or whatever, and the way that I did it, I didn't do it in a way where I designed something and then, well, I kind of started doing that after a while when I first launched my boutique, because of customers coming and asking me for different colors and some of the pieces that I had on my website. They will come and ask me for, oh, do you have this in another color, or can you make this in another color or whatever. And yeah, so I would kind of like open up the room. I kind of opened up the room to kind of give my customers the option. The only thing with that though is that I still had a bulk of fabric that I bought in that one particular color of the garment that was on my website, and I ended up having to try to create something else from that fabric because I gave the options for them to have other colors, which meaning that I had to go buy the different colors to create the garments. Like I said, it was the way I was running my stuff, it was so stressful. It was so, to me, it really wasn't no order, because I was just kind of like trying to adjust and go with the flow of what everybody wanted, and what, like, this was my mentality of thinking like, this is how I'm supposed to do it in order for me to actually make money. But then I was like, but my main thing for starting it really wasn't to make money. So it was just like, this is making me miserable. Like, I really don't like this. It's taking the fun out of it, and it's all because of me though. So you might not be me, so you might not care about that type of stuff or whatever. And I feel like I'm rambling, but okay, I'm calm now. But yeah, you might not care about that type of stuff or whatever. So I would say like just because I'm giving my perspective does not mean go do what I'm telling you to do. That's why I'm giving you so many different perspectives and options from both of these parts of like both of these videos, so you can clearly see the different paths or the different ways that you can really take your sewing craft. Like there's so many ways and so many things that you can do with your gift of sewing or whatever. And like I said, you don't have to do it the way I do it. You don't have to do it the way you see someone else doing it, because that's kind of how I started out trying to do it the way, like, I'm literally researching and trying to see how is it that this store have their online boutique set up, or let me see what do I need to put on there, and and I'm literally researching other people's boutiques and stuff like that. And all that time while I'm trying to take in and study how everyone had it set up, trying to replicate it. Because like I said, it's okay to go and check out your competition and kind of see what other people are doing, but that doesn't mean you have to replicate it in the way that they're doing it, or set your business up in the way that they set their business up. Because at the end of the day, you have other, like me, I'm not them, like, you know what I mean? Like, I know that I'm a stay-at-home homeschooling mom, which I'm choosing to do that. I'm choosing to still maintain motherhood and maintain my family life while still trying to do something here for myself. So I understand that the way that someone who has like a whole staff, and the way that someone who don't have kids, or someone who got about 15 nannies and all that kind of stuff, the way that they're doing their stuff, I'm not going to be able to do it that way, because I don't have a whole staff. I don't have 15 nannies. I don't, you know what I mean? Like, I'm balancing, like, I know that I'm having to balance a whole bunch of different things or whatever. So I know that in order for me to do it in a way that is peaceful for me, I have to do it in a way that works for me. So you have to examine everything. You know, everything. If you're in college, if you're going to school right now and you're in school or whatever, you have to understand that you know what I mean? You don't have all the free time that somebody who just doing YouTube for a living has. You know what I mean? Like, if you're in school and you're doing schooling and stuff like that, like, yeah, you're going to have to figure out ways that you can run it while still making sure you're able to focus on your schooling, and you're still able to have time to study. You're still able to have time to, you know what I mean, even kind of enjoy that college life. Because, I mean, college is an experience, and you should be able to enjoy your college experience or whatever. So, like, I said all that to say that I want you to take from this video just some different perspectives, and take from this video just like different things that I feel like I've come to learn or whatever. And like I said, I use myself an example to give you my perspective of certain things, so you can pretty much know how to answer it for yourself, not so you can do what I'm doing or whatever, because you might not have 2.5 kids now, you know what I mean, that 2-3 kids now that you will be having to raise and take care of on a daily basis, that you dedicated that as your first priority to, and your husband who has a business that's flourishing, and you're having to, you know what I mean, you're not having to balance all of that. So you can go full-fledged, just go in and just do it all, like, you know what I mean. You could just go in and just have you a boutique that's just flowing in milk and honey. Okay, no, let me stop. Okay, but you could go in and just have you a boutique that's just flowing and rolling, you know, with inventory and all that kind of stuff. But you know, me on the other hand, I kind of got to take my time. I kind of got to do it in a more intimate setting, to where I'm building it slowly, I'm developing it slowly, and yet still maintaining who I am and being creative and making sure that I love what I'm doing. So at the end of the day, like I said in my other in my video about how I got into fashion design, like, you don't, at the end of the day, no matter if you want to eventually have that big corporation, or if you just want to stay a mom and pop boutique or whatever, at the end of the day, you still want to make sure you getting that crock pot development. You're not trying to get no microwave development to where you trying to do things too fast, and then it's like, next thing you know, stuff is either undercooked or stuff is overcooked. Like, you know what I mean? You're doing too much and it's becoming overwhelming because you're doing too much, or you're not doing enough because you don't have enough resources to be doing what you need to meet the demand of what you're doing. You know, it's like your supply and your demand, you want to make sure that they're kind of it like slowly grow, like, you know what I mean? You don't want it to be like, let me do too much and have my supply up here and your demand is down here, you know. That's a whole bunch of money. There's a whole bunch of that is a lot of money, you know what I mean? And you don't want it to have it to where you putting yourself out there like, oh, you know what I mean, you doing too much, and you know, you're putting yourself out there and you're getting a large demand or whatever, and you're promoting yourself too much or too soon, or you know what I mean, like, and you're getting this high demand and people are wanting. And like I said, you want to make sure you're developing it at your own pace, and you're wanting to make sure that it is true to who you are, because I feel like that's really what will keep you kind of going even through the tough times, even because it's hard work. It gets frustrating. Says your definition of success will not look like nasty gal. I'm just throwing out a boutique or something, like, you. It probably won't look like Nasty Gal. It probably won't look like Forever 21 or H&M. You know what I mean? Like, your definition of success will probably not look like that. You're probably not trying to, you're not really focused on, you know, too much of a quantity right now. You just want to keep focused on the quality and keep focused on your craft and keep focused on your creativity, to where, you know, everything just grows and go with the flow. Alright, yeah, so you guys, that's pretty much it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Be sure that you check out part 1, like I said earlier, and be looking for more videos to come. Like I said, if you want me to do more videos like this, like different chats and kind of like talking about certain things, because what I want you guys to understand is that we're on this journey together. You know, it's like, I know a lot of people kind of like feel like they only want to show when they made it. You know what I mean? They only want to show when they made it. They only want to show or try to kind of show how they made it and all that kind of stuff when they make it or whatever. But this is a journey that I'm taking. This is a new journey for me. This is a learning journey for me that I've been learning a lot for the past couple of years. And like I said, from my first time around, when I first launched my first line and I first opened my boutique, it was like chaotic, because I had no idea what I was doing at all, because like I said, it was accidental and it just kind of happened, and I was rushing it because I was feeling the pressure of so many people around me, you know what I mean? And it was just like, I wasn't doing it for the right reasons. I didn't start it for the right reasons. And this is why I made this video. This is why I made this this two-part video, this series or whatever, is because I want you guys to not make the same mistakes that I made. I want you guys to go into it the right way, and I want you guys to go into it making the right choices, and like pretty much having the right foundation of knowledge and having the right foundation of questions you need to ask yourself before you decide to go into it or whatever. So you know that when you go into it, how you need to research to go into it, and how you need to research to or how you need to operate and build and stuff to go into it or whatever. So, and I'll say grow into it. You really want to you don't want to just jump in the water and try to swim when you don't know how to swim. You really kind of want to develop yourself and really grow into your business, like grow into it, and kind of like pay attention to what's working, pay attention to what's not working, and make sure that you focus on those questions, so you can, when you get to those roadblocks and when you get to those things that might not be working, or when you get to those things that might be causing you a little strain or stress, that you still have that foundation. You got to lay the right foundation first in order for it to stand. And even when it might get shaken a little bit, you know what I mean, like make sure that you have laid out the right foundation that will keep it afloat, you know what I mean, like that will keep it afloat. So I don't want people to make the same mistake that I made the first time. And like I said, it probably, for me, it probably wouldn't even, with me doing it the way that I did it the first time, it probably wouldn't have even been that bad, I feel, if I didn't have all the other responsibilities that I had. But because, like I said, depending on how you are in your life that you're living right now and how things are for you, like you might be able to do what I did in the beginning the first time around. You might be able to do that and be able to manage it and it'd be fine for you, but it was not for me, because I was doing things that people literally who are not homeschooling moms, and they're, you know what I mean, like they literally have whole staffs and all that. Like, I was trying to do it in that way, and it just, I couldn't do it. I couldn't keep up, and it really it kind of became something that was like a bummer for me, for the simple fact that I have all these people contacting me wanting this. They're excited about this and they're excited about that, and I'm like, but I can't produce it, I can't make it, oh my god. And it was just like, it starts to make you feel defeated or whatever, and start making you feel like a failure, when in reality you didn't fail. It's just that you didn't go about doing it the right way to begin with. So yeah, that is pretty much what I wanted to say, because I wanted to make sure that the foundation is understood first, right? I just really wanted to make sure that the foundation was understood first. So when you start growing into your business, and when you first step into it and you go into it or whatever, you want to make sure that your foundation is right. You want to make sure that you're going into it the right way. And I'm gonna stop rambling now. All right, so I'm going to stop talking, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video. And yes, make sure if you have any questions, leave them in the comment section below. And like I said, give this video a thumbs up if you want to see more videos like this, or leave a comment in the comment section below if you want to see more chat videos like this. And yeah, I'm finna get off this camera and get some work done. And yeah, all right, you guys, I'll see you in my next video. Remember to be beautifully you, and always embrace every part of you. All right, bye, you guys. Bye.